Hello, my friends. Good morning in the morning is not working. It's already in the middle of the day. Hello, hello. Today we have our live Q&A, like every Sunday. And I am super happy that we go live with a wonderful soul. Hello. That wants to join us. Yes, here we go. How are you?
Great. And how are you?
I'm great. I'm just in the middle of moving from one location to another. I just saw that I have some paintings here. That's okay.
But yeah, that's great to
My,
hear that.
yeah, my employee, she said, oh wow, this is commitment. Like in the middle of all these things, still going live. I was like, yeah, I try my best. But yes, so happy that you're here with us today and that you
Yes.
want to share the space. And we talk about safety, right?
Yes. And thank
Hello,
you so much
beauty.
for inviting.
Pleasure. Thank you for your time. Great. So yeah, you're of course with us in this journey, and so the last week we talked a lot about addictions and safety, and we had a lot of questions where it's about people were curious or just asked how can I overcome fear, right?
Yes.
And then it's holding me back, and when my old patterns pops up in all these questions, how to handle this resistance that we put inside of us.
Yes, true.
So today we will talk about, we asked the people, the beautiful souls, if we should talk about addiction or safety, and we had more votes for the safety. I think it's getting together.
Yes.
It's intertwined, right?
Mhm.
But let's focus a little bit more on the safety. And I think there are some questions. But yeah, now I leave it up to you if you want to, introduce yourself again. I will just give it to you.
Okay. Yeah, maybe before we start, I just want to introduce myself again, but very short. So yes, hello everyone. My name is Putri, and I'm here actually helping Atra that we want to serve you with fun and joy and happiness. So we can have a very good community and share it worldwide.
Very grateful, yes, very grateful. Yeah, we try to serve our best we can, and we both English is not our mother tongue, so but we know that we can reach out to many people. So we're still in the process, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
it is a process.
Exactly. And we want to take you also with us on the journey so that you can really see the development. Because so many times we just see the peak of the iceberg, let's say, and we see the people when they are already, famous or rich or wherever you want to go, what is your idol, or successful and whatever that means to you. But we don't really see the process. Some of them write their books and then we can read, but it's so fixed in the mind that everybody is like perfect or already or has already been there, and this is why we take you on us with us on our journey. Hello Sarah, hello Ela. Okay, great.
We joined now. So yeah.
Yes. So what do we in what kind of questions do we dive into today, Putri?
Okay, actually, we have some question that we already collected, but we are more about into fear and also the safety. And maybe if we still have time, we can talk about more about addiction that we have it in the previous week. So in this week, and should we start now?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
let's
So
dive in.
yes. So there is one question about how do I face the fear of the unknown when I'm letting go of what I've outgrown.
How do I face the fear of the unknown?
Yes, when letting go of what I outgrown. So letting go something they don't really know.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, we had this also in one of the lessons where it's about I want to go from A to B, and to get to B, I need to let go of A, right? And then I am in this last space, and then there is this miracle zone. So yeah, I can repeat and I can dive a little bit deeper into that. I don't know which day it was when we talked about, but I think it was the first week. Do you know?
Yes, and I kind of forgot it actually also.
Yeah. But you can find it, so anyone who wants to go back there. Yeah. So we start with the fear, right? Because the question is, how do I overcome the fear? That means we have the feeling that is, there is a resistance. This feeling of being afraid is stopping you from doing something, or changing something, or getting into something that you don't know already, like this is something new. So it's always holding us back. Why? Because of the fear. Fear itself, like every emotion, is built on itself. That means fear. So the more we are afraid, the bigger our fear, and and also the other way around, right? The more fear we let. This is the same. So the first thing is we have to understand that this is an emotion, and we also learn that all the emotions we have within us are there, and they are in the field, and they're okay because they are a part of us. And emotions are on the scale. We have the map of consciousness, and fear is somewhere below because it's energy draining. It's not something that, gives you a kick in energy and bravery and so that you can go and build and grow. It's more something that is holding us back and a little bit, more shy and small. So just to understand, this is the first step, and we can use the Hi.LoFe technique pretty well for this. And the Hi.LoFe technique I talked already about is using these 4 steps. First of all, we need to understand that there is something I want to go for. Because why do you feel the fear? Because there is something you want to go for. Okay, you have your vision, your dream, your goal. Something is there where you want to go. There is something you want to have, or like you want to change the situation, your character, whatever it is. There is a change. That means you are ready, okay? And you are kind of excited and you want something. The first key, the readiness. So the second thing you can, just to realize this is very important. The second thing then is to feel this emotion that pops up. Sometimes we have changes we want to go for and we feel very excited. For example, me, okay, right now I'm in this movement. This is a big shift for us on the business level. We are moving to completely new locations and new location. And there are so many things on the way happening, of course, that are not planned. This is why we had also to postpone. And but my excitement is so big. I have such an immense energy. And though my body is really tired because I'm doing this all the time, working, moving, and so it's a lot to do. However, it's not a complaint. It's just more I realize this and I give my body the recovery time. But I have to be aware of my emotions. So it's not always fear. Sometimes it's also joy. Okay. So, but if there is fear that comes up, this is the second step. What is the emotion? I have to accept all of this. And an emotion is there to give me how we call it in English, a status quo, just to, hey, you are here,
Yeah.
this is how you feel right now. So that's okay. It's just to accept this. When it comes to emotions, we also said there are also 4 steps within this 4 step of within the Hi.LoFe technique. When you are at the second step, you can dive in and make these 4 check-ins, which is, I will repeat, acknowledgement. Acknowledge that there is an emotion. Okay. Then the second thing is, after we know, oh, this is an emotion, we can then just let it be. Do not manipulate it. Ask ourselves, being curious, ask ourselves, what does this emotion wants to tell me? Being very open-minded, and also see if it's true, like, do I agree? Okay,
Yes.
it's not about neglecting, but it's about checking in. And here the third thing then is appreciate it, because every time an emotion pops up, we can learn something. So appreciation is then the third step. And the fourth is the it dissolves, it's transformed. The energy is then just, it's gone, kind of. I mean, energy doesn't go anywhere, but it's not this resistance anymore. There is not this being against something. So these are the 4 check-ins and the second step. Okay, I repeat to make it pretty simple. The first step is really to see, okay, I want to have a change. Then the second step is there is an emotion that pops up. Okay, what is it? To make these 4 check-ins. This is how we deal with emotions. And the third thing is also when it's there, the emotion, it's again, it wants to tell us something. And even here, after you've transformed the emotion, let's say the fear, and we will make an example now, you will transform and you will feel another emotion, right? And you have to even feel this emotion. And I will make an example because it might be too complicated. Let's say, or do you want to tell us an example, Putri? Did you make any experience maybe you want to share?
So yeah, actually regarding about this emotion, like a fear, I deal it like, because this is like every day we deal with this emotion, even from the lower until the higher one. So sometimes the emotion is always pops up every day, and when this emotion pops up and then I do the technique, then another emotion pops up, like when we can see in the map of consciousness, like after the fear, when we let go the fear, there will be like a desire, which is, this is very interesting. Desire is still in the lower level.
I
So
found this also interesting.
yes.
Yeah.
And this is also what the Maria Magdalena teaching about. We need to let go the desire. And when the desire come, and then let it go again, or maybe using this Hi.LoFe technique, and then go to the high level, which is anger. So, and we have to deal with this emotion again and again. And sometimes people doesn't want to deal with this emotion because it's exhausting, it's draining energy. But however, when people, there's a proper, or maybe like Zen, I think a Zen teaching said about, so people want to let go this emotion, and then the Zen teaching just told the students like, can you hold this cup please for me? And then the student hold it, and then for some couple of minutes, and the student just complained, oh, this is so heavy. And then the Zen teaching just, so put it down, let it go. So as simple as that. But people just spinning and like making a spiral, like make the story again and again and believe it that is true.
This is so beautiful. This holding this cup is the attachment, right?
Yeah.
And this is desire, right?
Yeah.
So everything comes together, exactly. So the desire is really I need to have it. I otherwise, there is a condition, and otherwise I'm not happy, or I'm happy when I get it. So there is this attachment, and we are attached to so many things. This is why we hold it, right? Instead of just look at it and see, do I need it? What does
True.
this wants to tell me, right? Do I still
Yeah.
need it now? And this is also something that I realize so many people are attached to things, even if they do not harm them, right? Let's say this is not harmful, but they still hold to it because they think I might need it in the future. But you don't know. And because it's still in the field, your future will then adjust to what you have instead of leave everything what you do not need now so that your future can really come from the inspiration, and coming from evolving from who you truly are and where you really want to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And also,
you're completely right.
I can maybe add one thing again, like the fear is also maybe triggered from the mind, our thought, which is or what we uploaded. So it's something that's familiar.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, most of the times, and I think this is what this is what the question is about. How do I overcome the fear when I dive into something new, right? When I go to a place I don't know, the unknown, right? So the unknown is the darkness. And so, of course, we are afraid when we go into the dark because we can't see. This is not only on this in this three-dimensional world. Um, and again, fear is not bad. Fear is trying to give us a hint. Let's say me as a woman, and it's dark, and there's a park, and I have to walk home, and I'm alone. Well, I will be afraid to walk through this park, and that's good to be afraid because this fear tells me, are you sure you want to do this? And then your mind trying to go through these, this analytical, the analytical tool starts now and say, okay, what is the risk? Can you do karate? No? Okay, then you shouldn't go through this park, whatever, right? So then we have our stories. And here it's so important to understand that there is this fear, but if we do not let it be, if we do not understand, oh, fear is also a part, it's in my field, let's see, let's check in, connect with this emotion.
Yeah.
If we do not do this, then we are already afraid now. I'm not even near the park, right? But the fear is already there, and then I'm becoming hysterical. This makes no sense.
That's true.
So this is, I think this is really the best way to overcome fear is to connect with the fear and check in.
Yeah.
And then you can make little steps. You don't have to change everything. Sometimes we have these experiences, especially when we lose a very close person or loved person. We hear these stories that people shift completely, right? To the positive or to the negative, doesn't matter. There's this big change because there is this gap. But usually, if you really want to do this, and this is what we also learn in the personal development, is when you want to make a change, make it step by step by step. This is what we teach, little baby steps. This 1%, the power of 1%. Just do it every day. Do the mirror talk. And if we do this step by step, even if we go into the dark, and even if we go into the unknown, I don't know if it really makes sense. I don't know if it really works. Well, do it day by day, and then after a while, you can see if it is working for you, because everybody has a very personal journey.
True. That's
But if you don't do, you'll never know.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, this is it. Just connect with the emotions, and we will dive a little bit more into the Hi.LoFe technique the coming week.
Yeah.
This will be the last week. Because again, when we talk about manifestation, we manifest who we are. We radiate. I just want to remind you again here, manifestation is nothing that we do. It's not something we activate or deactivate or manipulate. It's not possible. It's a law, a universal law. So tell me if you really understand this, or if you have questions, or if it's not really tangible for you. So it's a law, and it's just attracting. The law of attraction means there has to be something that is attracting something else. It's a magnet, right? So, and we are this magnet. It's here, and it's the whole field, right? So, what is here, we will then pull, attract. Okay, but even this is not us. What we can do is radiate. How we radiate on this frequency, the same things that are on this frequency will come back. So I always say the radiation, the path that goes out, and the end is the same. The endings are the same. So yeah, just to remind you out there what manifestation is. So we have to focus on what is inside, and here are emotions, right?
Yeah. True.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes. And should we go to the next question, or we want to? Okay.
I think
So
so.
yeah. All right. We go to the next question. So this is about the safety. Like so many people may be trapped in their comfort zone because maybe they already experienced so many things, and then because they may be afraid to try other things that they with this fear also, and this is intertwined actually. So how they can choose the safety, like how they can choose growth over the safety, because sometimes safety, it's sometimes because they don't feel safety even with themselves.
Okay. So the question is, how can I even let go of the safety that I feel?
Yes.
Okay, so the courage, being brave enough to do something. Okay. Which is, yeah, very similar to the one. It's about I feeling safe because we are afraid of the things that are outside our safe zone, our comfort zone, what we know. It's the known and the unknown. And yeah, we have to understand what is safety. And the last lesson on Friday, we talked about the three categories, right? There is the illusion also of being safe, which is this in the comfort zone. That means, I give you an example. Let's say and I think all of us know this. There are situations that happen again and again and again, and we can see it pretty clear in partnerships. You are attracting for a very long time, the majority, most of us, attracting the same type of energy person in our life. So we have the same type of partner. Let's say the extreme case is somebody who's violent, right? So again, when we get into the situation that somebody's violent, verbally or physically, the question is, why do we repeat this? Okay, so many of us have this repetition in their life, or the job. It's the same job. Again and again, we have the same problems. We have the same issues. This is because it's familiar. Because it's familiar, and again, we are talking here about the sacred key of a repetition, the hypnotic rhythm. What we do again and again, the most we do, the best we do, and we feel safe there. But it's not really safe in a way of freedom. Okay, there is a difference between safety and freedom. And so many of us mistaken these two. So I feel safe just because I know what is coming. It's, to be honest, more a form of control. Yeah, as I know what is coming. The funny thing is, if you are aware of your power, you then go even beyond that and you say, well, I don't really know, but because I believe in it, this is why it's happened. And when it's then happened, you say, oh, I knew it. And again, it's this illusion of things, right? So in the end, we don't know. But because we are thinking about the past and we feel comfortable there and we think this is the reality. We're still stuck in the past, right? Hey, Berlin is in the house. Hi. So we're stuck in the past. And this is why we repeat this again and again, because we have the power. There is no choice. You have the power. The question is just, do you use it or not? And this is, are you conscious or unconscious? Safety is most of the time a control mechanism. Okay. So freedom is something else. And then it has to do with responsibility. So ask yourself, do you really feel safe on the emotional level? Hello.
Yes.
There we have a lot of people here. Great. So
That's
ask
very
yourself, yeah, ask yourself, do you really feel safe or is it just familiar? This is the first step here. Because sometimes we feel safe, but we are not really emotional safe. We are stressed. It's just familiar. When you're in a toxic relationship, yeah, of course it's familiar. Maybe you are afraid of what happens if this person is not in your life anymore. But this is because you're so attached and addicted to this relationship. You are attached to this person. This has nothing to do with freedom and nothing to do with really safety. This is then becoming a victim or slave or whatever, however you feel. So safety is tricky. It's most of the time it's more a control mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it now answered the question, or do we still have to answer some parts of the question? Is it okay so far?
Yes, it's okay so far. It's already answered the question actually.
Okay, great. So yeah, that's it so far. When it comes to safety and fear, and I can just repeat it, really dive into, ask yourself. And of course, you have to be honest to yourself, especially when it comes to a partnership. And then we think, oh, but I love him or I love her, and we're together now 15 years, or we are married, and there are so many things we are attached to. And I don't say it's easy, and I don't say leave it, right? I don't say leave your partner. But what I want to say is, if there is a resistance within you, there is a reason why there is this resistance. And if you are afraid of something, there is a reason for that. The same is that if you feel safe with somebody else, right? Even this, there is a reason for it. So, and we have to make the decisions, and we are making decisions every time. It's not that we do not make the decisions, we do, but the question is, do we do this consciously or unconsciously? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple, but not easy, right?
Yeah. Like maybe I want to add also, like if some like people doesn't really safe with themselves, how they can expect someone else to make them feel safe.
Absolutely. Do we have some more questions?
Yes, actually there is. It's about the addiction, and this is also related again with the familiarity. With familiarity, like this is the question is addiction only about substance, or can I be addicted to emotion, thought, and the patterns?
Emotion and?
Thought and the patterns.
Okay, thoughts and pattern.
Yes, like maybe some people addicted to bad habits, or some people addicted to suffering, or some people addicted with something else. So
Yes, of course, yeah. Okay, what is addiction? We had this also in the lesson, right? Addiction is a habit. We are, we trained ourselves because of the repetition. It's just a habit is always something that we do again and again and again. That means the repetition, and then it becomes very automatic. This is then our program. This is how we write programs. The most we do, the best we do, and then it's in the autopilot, the auto program, which is the subconsciousness. So the question is more like, why did I do this for the first time? What I mean, just I don't want to dive too deep into addiction, because this is really like, we can talk hours about this. And all of us, we have this. We are all addicted to something.
yes.
And this is attachment again. So an addiction is a habit we have to compensate something that we don't want to deal with. We want to separate ourselves because it's painful, or we are afraid of it. Most of the time it's painful, and it is everything. It is the substances that I take on the outside, if it's alcohol or the nicotine or whatever it is that I need on the outside, is also linked what is inside. It's always the inside that is creating the outside. So let's say I have a person in my life, a very close person, that is addicted to stress. And it's so funny and interesting to see that this person is always creating stress, even if the situations are pretty simple, everything's clear, organized, planned. But this person is in this mind. This mind is so beautiful. So it's okay. So I don't want to, I don't want to complain, or I don't want to judge, but it's so interesting to observe that some of us really think complicated. They are going this complicated way in their mind, because this is the way they've chosen so many times. And again, the most we do, the best we do. So that means an addiction is just a repetition. That's it. And we can also be emotionally addictive to something, because everything is in the end also an emotion. Every thought brings an emotion. So if I was addicted to nicotine so many years, like I think 20 years or something, even more, I guess. And so many times I really tried to let go of it, and then I came back and I tried again, and always asking myself. So I really dived into addiction. What is it? And I also observed my own thoughts, and the judgment. The ugliest part of addiction is that we judge ourselves. And when we understand that addiction is just the fulfilling prophecy of the feeling that you are not good enough, then we can look at it completely different. It's nothing that we do, we want to do it, but nobody is like, so many times we think, oh, addiction is not good, we are not allowed to do this. Okay, so we are not allowing ourselves, again, we are judging ourselves. Okay, we are not, why do you do this? You shouldn't do this, and you're too weak, or you need this, you're addicted, you're attached, you're not free. Whatever these voices in our head tells us are in the end just another form of what we've heard in the first place, why we created this habit. This is the judgment that we had as kids, let's say, or as a teenager. Whenever this habit started, it was in that time that we felt not loved, not seen, not good enough. And we create the situation again and again. This is so funny because it's really a toxic relationship to ourselves, right? So we are, in the end, we are judging ourselves and we are punishing ourselves. And we think, if I now smoke the cigarette, then I feel good. But it's not, because as soon as I smoke the cigarette, I feel guilty. Because I know that the cigarette is not good. I know this. And I can train myself to ignore this. Of course, I can, because I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do, right? Especially when I'm old enough. And I can do this. However, this is the ignorance. And I think this is the thing that most of us struggle with. So I can just say in this moment, whatever you do, really, whatever you do this from your heart. And if it's a burger you eat, go and eat it. Just love it. Love what you do. And if it's a cigarette you want to go for, then do it. Don't judge yourself. This is worse. This is the worst thing you can do. Don't judge yourself. This is, and this is, I think, in the end, the worst addiction, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I hope it answers a little bit the question.
Yes. Or maybe I want to add something
Please.
about it. Also
Please.
about it. So actually, if we, in some level, our thought actually have no power. It's just like we example like a sky and cloud, and our awareness or maybe conscious is the sky, and then this thought is just the clouds. So just cloud passing by. And this is also what we have in the like research that our our thought every day we thought like more than like 70,000 per day. So this is really crazy if you want to just dive into that one thought, and that is because you give it the content for that thought.
Yeah.
So that's give the power.
Absolutely.
Actually, the power with you.
Yeah.
So you choose it or not.
Yes, no, absolutely. You're so right. And this is what I've learned. And one of the masterpieces I always recommend is the book from David Hawkins, Letting Go. And he's also explaining what you said. Every thought brings another thought. You just have one thought, and then you find yourself with 1,000 thoughts, and then you're just in a completely different situation, right? And you're like, oh, how did I get there? And most of the times we're in the past and in the future. Past, future.
Yeah.
We are not really present. This is what thoughts are. I always say they are not really reliable. And the funniest thing is, thoughts bring emotions with them. They carry emotions. So we have so many thoughts, and we have a specific, let's say, the map of consciousness talks about these emotions. But we have one emotion, and we have so many situations that are linked to this emotion, let's say. And this is why it's more productive, to be honest, to dive into the emotion when we solve the problem, which is not really a problem, but when we dive into the emotion and make this, transform this from lower energy to higher energy, then all of the thoughts that are linked to this emotion dissolve. Yeah. So yeah, thoughts are tricky. And you said this again, also the addiction was not on the emotional, also on thoughts and patterns, but it's the same in the end. And when we really see this from the biological perspective, we have this neural links, right? So again, the street, like the connection we have on again and again, that means we repeat them. This will be like a highway. This is a pattern, is something that you do in the auto program. This is a pattern, right? You do this even when you're not conscious. You do this directly, automatically. You don't really think about it. And it's dangerous because the question is, if you don't really think about it, if you don't really choose, who does then, right? So yeah, I think this is addiction, but we can talk so much more about it.
It is.
I hope that answers the question, and thank you for adding also
Thank you.
your experience.
Yes, thank you also for inviting me to join the live.
Thank you for your time. Great. Is there anything else we can talk about? We should talk about. Is there anything, any other questions, or are we good for today?
I think so far we are good for today.
Okay, great.
Or
Ladies,
maybe
I see, yes, there are still people coming in. If you have any questions, we will wait now 5 minutes. If you have questions, thank you for the hearts. If you have questions, then Putri, are you now with your, oh no, okay. I just had a technical question, but it's fine so far. Okay, so yeah, we give you 5 minutes. If you have any questions, write them down. And I know we have also a lot of people from Germany. You can also write it in German. Okay. Hi Anna, hi Adela. I'll be back soon. So yeah, sorry, Putri, I didn't want to interrupt you, but now I'm
it's
back.
okay. Or maybe we wait for someone else to maybe take a question. You want also answer one question?
Yeah, we still have time.
Okay. Yeah, if we still have time. Okay, yes, sure. Sorry.
5 minutes.
So, okay. There is a one question is, what if I don't believe in myself yet? How can I manifesting or manifest anything? Which is this is also intertwined.
Yeah, and it's I need a more specific one. Like, okay, the person doesn't believe in them in herself or himself.
Yes, like doesn't believe if the manifest they can manifesting.
Well, then we talk about belief, right? If you don't believe in something, then you don't believe it. I mean, this is really simple. And if you believe in something, you believe. So let's say you're born into Christianity and you believe that there is Jesus. So if I can have a discussion with you and say you never saw him, you don't know if he was really alive, but then you say, yeah, but there are books. And then we have a discussion on belief. It's almost like politics. It's I mean, what is a belief? We can talk about belief. And I found out for myself, I can say that a belief is something, again, that we repeat. If I look into the mirror, and I think you can, maybe this is a really great tool to understand what is a belief. A belief is when I look into the mirror and I talk to myself and I say, I am brave. Maybe I do not believe it on the first day, not on the second and third. But if I do this for 3 weeks, again, look at myself and say, I am brave. I am brave. I am brave. Just to say this is powerful. All words are so powerful. This is also something I would love to make even a 4th week in the challenge, just to talk about words and the power of words and the affirmation, right?
Yes.
But yeah, we don't have the time. Maybe another challenge. So yeah, this is then after 3 weeks, I will start to believe. So this is what I can say regarding this question.
Okay.
We have
And
to
maybe
open ourselves.
yes. No, nothing. I just want to add maybe about the mirror talk because mirrors are actually so powerful, but some people like underestimate it because maybe they did it like yeah, like did it only like 2 or couple times. They don't feel the result yet, and because there's also the resistance to do that, so they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, maybe for some people they still don't believe in it, or maybe you just want to try, they can just try for a simple action. For myself, for the mirror talk, I use a post-it, like a post-it.
Great.
So something like this. So just put in the mirror. So what is this that I want to have like for 1 month?
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's a great tip because sometimes we look in the mirror and we ask ourselves, well, what do I say today? But when it's written, this is the power then of journaling.
Yeah.
If we use all these tools, these little tools that are really, they do not cost us anything, they are simple, we can prepare ourselves, like we can guide ourselves through the day with little reminders, right?
Yes.
To again and again say, hey, this is who I am truly, or who I want to become. And if I use that in that moment, because the reality is the only reality is the present, if I use this in this moment, just repeat it, then it will become the reality. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
thank you for sharing. This is a great tip.
Yeah.
And I love the mirror talk. And I know some of you guys use this too that are in the chats. And yeah, I'm not posting it every day, every morning, and especially now. I don't have so many mirrors here anymore. Everything is empty, but it's okay. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll dive. We come back to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. Good. I think for today it was a lot, and hopefully you guys could take something out of it. And we will again upload this live. Anything you want to add, Putri?
For me, nothing. Just say thank you for people who already joined this live and still here, and that's it. So yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes not. I don't know, but that's fine. Okay, I thank you also for your time, Putri.
Thank you, Asra, also for your time, even though you're still in busyness. So yeah,
Yeah,
really
but that's
appreciate
fine.
it.
I choose it. I choose it. It's okay. So I wish you all a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy the rest and enjoy yourself, beautiful souls. And reminder, you are the light. Okay, bring the light into your life. Open your heart. Maybe you do a little breath work today, or whatever it is that you invest in yourself, so that you can feel the love within yourself and connect with yourself. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Then see you tomorrow morning with week 3, day 15.
Day 15. Yes, 15. Okay, great.
Great.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.